This assignment is going to walk you through how to set up your Villain website in Code.org as a project. We are going to cover adding pages, renaming pages, adding text to a page, and adding paragraph and heading tags. The new code that we are going to go over is the paragraph tag. I refer to it as the P tag. Your text goes between the open P tag and the closing P tag. And then you're going to add headings, and our headings start with H1 and go all the way down to H6. H1 is the biggest one and H6 is the smallest. I've also recorded a link to Code.org's tool documentation, which are all the HTML and CSS tags that we will learn from Code.org. So if you go to the assignment, it says Code.org tool documentation. There are going to be points in time where I say, okay, now you need to work on your website, and this is where you're going to find all the information. So for example, heading. These are your H tags, and they give you examples of how to use them, how they should be set up, that kind of thing. Once you're all done with the video and you've set up your web page, once you're all done with the video and you have completed everything that you need to for your web pages, you're then going to copy the link to your website and post it in the Google Doc, the website links Google Doc. When that's done, you're then going to mark the assignment as done, and then you're going to come get me to let me know that you have completed the assignment, and I will take a look at it. To do is open Code.org. Once Code.org is open, we're going to go to Create on the top right. We're going to click on View All Projects at the bottom of the drop-down list. This new page will pop up and you're going to click on the View Full List underneath Game Lab. Scroll down towards the bottom and then you'll see Web Lab. Click on that. Okay, so we have just set up a project. We need to name our project. Your name should be the name of your Villain and then Villain website. To rename it, you're going to click on Rename and then name it your Villain's name and then Villain website. And then click on Save when you're done. We have an index page and a style CSS. These pages are going to stay named as they are. Your index page is the home page, and it needs to be named index so that websites, web browsers know which page is your home page. So every single website in the world has a page called index.html, and it is their home page. You need to add a minimum of 2 more pages, so we're going to click on this Add HTML 1 time, 2 times. You can have more than 3 pages, but right now the minimum requirement is 3 web pages, and you can tell because they end in HTML. Your web pages need to be named appropriately. New-1 HTML and New-2 HTML are not appropriate names. These names should be all lowercase, just like you see. No spaces, that's why there's a dash here. And they should be named something similar to what they are going to say. So I'm going to add an About Us page and an FAQ page. So I'm going to right-click on this New-1, and I'm going to click Rename. I don't want to change the HTML, I just want to change this New.1, and I believe it's already selected. So if I start typing About Us, notice it's all lowercase, no cap, no spaces. And then I can just hit Enter to save that.
I'm going to go to the new -2 HTML page. I'm going to right click on it, click on rename. And for me, this is going to be my FAQ pages. And even though FAQs are typically all capitals, I'm going to do mine in lowercase because websites prefer lowercase names. Once I have the name in, I'm going to hit enter. So now I have the About Us page, the FAQs, and the index. Again, your index is your home page. We are not going to deal with the style.css today. We're just going to be working on these 3 pages. Okay, so I just want to go over this code and talk a little bit about it just as a refresher. On my index page, notice that the code starts with this doc type. The doc type tells the browser what kind of code it's going to view, and in this case, it's HTML. This right here should match what's here because this line says, okay, web browser, this is an HTML document. This starts the HTML. So this is an opening tag, and your HTML closing tag is all the way down here. It's going to be the last thing on the page because everything goes in between the HTML pages, the HTML tags. Then you have your head. Everything that comes inside the head doesn't actually show up on the page. So something that I noticed from looking at other student websites is sometimes students will put stuff here and it will show up over here. Know that that is a code.org error. If you put stuff in here, it will not show up over here. It shows up in the web browser. It's all for the web browser. And then here's your body, opening tag, closing tag. Everything that's going to actually be viewable on a website goes in your body tag. The other thing I want to talk about is organization. All of these tags are on their own line. So as we add our content, we're going to add them. Each tag is going to be on its own line. Okay, so I am on my index page. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the title here, and the title is going to show up on the web browser. It's going to be here. Okay, so after the link tag, you're going to hit enter, and then you're going to do less than sign, start typing title, T-I, and notice that it starts popping up. There's title. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to do the closing tag. I don't need to do a space or anything like that. The title for this page is the name of your website. Now that we're working in the code, this is going to show up here. So typically up here, what looks neat is like a title capitalization. So the first letter of each word is capitalized. And then I need to close my title tag. So less than sign, the slash, type in title. Notice it's pink because right now it doesn't match. Notice this is pink because right now it doesn't match this. So once it starts matching that, it will turn blue. Now it shouldn't have turned blue until I put that closing sign in because it's not code, but code.org did that. So just be careful when you are typing your tags that you put your closing signs. So I'm going to go through and do the title for each page. I'm going to copy this so that all I have to change is the name of the page. So I selected it, I did a Control-C to copy. Now I'm going to go to the FAQ, I'm going to go to the head section, and I'm going to paste. Now it's not the Villain website, it's the FAQ page. And so again, this is just going to show up here, so you can use capitals over here. Over here is all lowercase, in here you can use capitals. My title's on this one. I'm going to go to my third page, and I'm going to do the same thing. I already have the code copied, so I'm just going to paste it again. and then I'm going to change this. I'm calling this the About Us page. So again, in this case, my A is capitalized. I have a space between About and Us, and my U is capitalized. Okay, so now all of our pages are titled. So when we view this page, it will show up here. Now, everything else that we are going to add is going to be in the body section. The other thing I just want to bring your attention to is see how this first tag is up here, but then the second tag is underneath it. It's not over here. Let me just show you. This, when you need to debug your website to figure out what's wrong, this is hard to read. But if every tag is on its own line, it's much easier to read. Okay, so now you need to put some text on each page. I had you write some stuff for your Villain website way at the beginning of school, so you have some documents with text in it to add to your pages. If you are still struggling and it's what you're putting on each page is holding you back, I'm going to show you a little trick. So what you need to do is open up a new tab, and then you're going to type in dummy text. And you're looking for a generator. So dummy text is what designers use when there isn't actual text. They don't have that text yet. It's a placeholder text, and it's called lorem ipsum, and it is Latin. I am not expecting you to read it. It's just something that we use. So I clicked the second one, and if you scroll down, I think I passed it. Here it is. You can get 5 paragraphs. Start with lorem ipsum. They don't have to. I'm just going to uncheck that so I get something different. Then you're going to click on Generate Lorem Ipsum. And then you're just going to copy this. Control-C to copy. Go to your website. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a paragraph tag. So I'm going to click in the space between the body tags, because from this point on, everything we put on the web page is between the body tags. I'm going to do the less than sign, a lowercase p, and a greater than sign. So that opens my paragraph. Then I'm going to Control-Shift-V, nope, that didn't work, Control-V to paste this text, and for some reason, it indents it. So I'm just going to do this, delete, and I want this to be, I want the P tag to be there, and then this should all be indented. I don't know why. At the end, I'm going to close the paragraph. To close it, it's a less than sign, a slash, lowercase p, and then the greater than sign. Okay? I am going to go ahead and do this for each of my paragraphs. So again, if you have text from the beginning stuff that I wrote, go ahead and use that. You don't have to use dummy text, but if you're stuck because the writing part is the issue for you, you're going to use this dummy text. And I have one more to go. So notice that even though my text is indented in the code, it is not showing up indented here because everything is aligned left or right, period. Okay, so now this page has text and it is styled with the paragraph tags, which is one of the requirements. This is my home page. So I know that we put a title here, but we need to copy the title down in here. For your home page, maybe you want a logo, but if you don't have a logo, you can just type in the name. So after body, I hit enter. This is going to be my heading 1 tag. So I'm going to do the open sign. I'm going to do a lowercase h and then a 1, and then I'm going to close the tag. This is going to be, the title is either your logo, if you have one. If you don't, it's the name of your villain. It probably will not say villain website. Mine is going to say villain website because I have a lack of imagination right now. Then I'm going to close my H1 tag. Okay, so now it's nice and big. The other thing you should know about your headers, H1 through 6, is that websites actually read them and they look a lot for the H1 tags. Okay, so this tag, I have one type of header on it and I have a paragraph. My requirement for you for this assignment is that you have another size header. So I'm going to call this my paragraph header. You might have an idea of what this text says, so your next header might say something specific. Okay, so notice it shows up here. It's the same size because I haven't done any code. Also notice though that it looks exactly like the paragraph that has been coded with the P tag. But if you were just to do this, you would get points marked off because it's showing up correctly in code.org, but it's not actually coded correctly. So this doesn't need, for me, this one doesn't need to be really big. I'm going to try and see, I'm going to look at what an H3 looks like. And then I'm just going to close it. So H1 is the biggest and H6 is the smallest. And it just goes down from H1 to H3. Okay, that's not too bad. I think I'm going to put a paragraph header before each of these paragraphs. And the great thing about code is that you can copy and paste. I'm going to copy that line and then I'm going to come down here. Now, I'm not just going to put it right in front of the P because again, we're looking at making our code look neat. I'm going to put it above on its own line. And the same thing here. Now, you may not have as many paragraphs as I do. I may decide on my home page to cut some of these off, but I don't necessarily have to make that decision right now. So now your FAQ page needs some text, as does the About Us. So let's go to the FAQ page. Actually, before I go to the FAQ page, I'm going to copy one of these paragraphs because again, you might have the text to put on the page, but I do not. So I want the fake dummy text placeholder text. Okay, so I'm going to go to the FAQs. My title is here. I need to copy this title and put it down here, but it needs to be in the heading 1. This isn't so big, so I'm just going to type it. I'm going to do an H. Look at that, it popped up. H1, close it. And then I'm just going to type in FAQs and then close my H1. Then boom, bam, big. Then I'm going to hit the enter to bring my code down to a new line. and I am going to put my fake paragraph in here, but I'm going to start with my P code. Now, why it's not finishing that, I don't know. Yeah. It's supposed to finish the code. I'm going to paste that paragraph, and I am just curious. So typically your paragraph stuff will kind of fall in a line, and I don't know why this one isn't. Doesn't seem to want to do it right, though. I'm going to close my paragraph at the end. Okay, and notice my code here. I have an extra one of these greater than signs in my code, and there it is. I'm going to put a header here. So this page is starting to look a lot like my home page, but as we go through and learn some more code, things will start to change. So the biggest thing on the page is the page title. Then everything else should be smaller than that. So I think for the FAQs, I'm going to use that H3 again. You know what? I'm going to try an H2 just to be a little bit different and show you what they look like. I'm going to call it an FAQ title, just so it doesn't look exactly like my other page. And then I'm going to close my tag. So something that's important is what's here in the opening tag should be the same thing in the closing tag. You just have a slash. So to me, these look too close in size together. I'm going to try an H4. There, that's much better. Okay, so that's good for this page. Now we need to get some text on About Us. So again, this title that says About Us, it shows up here, and we also need it to show up here. So in the body section, again, this is my H1 tag. Got to close it. About Us, and then close the H1. Forgot where the key was for that. We need to get some text on here. I keep pasting that weird part. Oh. I really want this text to go in like it's supposed to. And it won't. It's driving me crazy. All right, now this is a correct paragraph for me. I'm just going to recopy and paste so that I don't have to keep deleting that weird sign. I'm going to do it one more time. All right, now I need to add my paragraph tags. And I know this is an indent, so right here. Notice all this text turned pink because my tag hasn't been closed yet. There we go. I am going to hit it even though I don't need to, just so that it's a little bit easier to see my code. And for some reason, this did not indent. It's really driving me crazy that this is not indenting and I can't fix it. Okay, again, I'm going to do my paragraph tag. And then I'm going to close it. I'm just going to hit enter so the code stands out. And I'm going to do the paragraph tag one more time. So notice that this is displaying correctly again, but I haven't finished closing my paragraph tag. So again, this is just a reminder that code.org does not always display correctly. If you were working in a different setup, this paragraph tag would actually show up in this text. But do notice that the body in HTML changed color. So that is one indication. Oh, I just want to show you that again. Notice that your body and your HTML are pink. So that's one indication that code.org gives you that this is not a correct tag, even though it shows up correctly.
This assignment is going to walk you through how to set up your Villain website in code.org as a project. We are going to cover adding pages, renaming pages, adding text to a page, and adding paragraph and heading tags. The new code that we are going to go over is the paragraph tag. I refer to it as the P tag. Your text goes between the open P tag and the closing P tag. And then you're going to add headings, and our headings start with H1 and go all the way down to H6. H1 is the biggest one and H6 is the smallest. I've also recorded a link to code.org's tool documentation, which are all the HTML and CSS tags that we will learn from code.org. So if you go to the assignment, it says code.org tool documentation. There are going to be points in time where I say, okay, now you need to work on your website, and this is where you're going to find all the information. So for example, heading. These are your H tags, and they give you examples of how to use them, how they should be set up, that kind of thing. Once you're all done with the video and you've set up your web page, once you're all done with the video and you have completed everything that you need to for your web pages, you're then going to copy the link to your website and post it in the Google Doc, the website links Google Doc. When that's done, you're then going to mark the assignment as done, and then you're going to come get me to let me know that you have completed the assignment, and I will take a look at it.
Okay, so now this page is done. All right, now that we have done everything that we need to do on setting up our pages, I want you to click on the share button, and then you're going to copy this. So I just clicked on it and it selected it all. I'm going to do a Control-C.
Once you've copied the link, we're going to go to Google Classroom, and we're going to go to the Unit 2 Villain website setup pages. Click on View Assignment. Click on Instructions. Click on Website Links. Find your name and paste your website link next to your name. Once that's done, you're going to mark this assignment as done.